I do have the forms with me tonight that he was talking about. It's this form. If anybody hasn't done it, I would strongly encourage the community to get on board. We've gotten wind from the High Speed Rail Authority, from Michelle Bohm, that we didn't get much of a response from Agua, Dulce, but there was a pretty strong response from Acton.
Now, is that the same form that they handed out at the meeting on the 11th? Okay.
At the library? Yes, it is. It's just that they extended it, they gave us an extra 12 days, and so...
Well, we can show that we appreciate that by sending more responses.
Absolutely. If there's still people that need to do it, I will help them. And like he said, it was in the Country Journal. We did a computation of all of our comments that Jackie Air, I don't know how many people here are familiar with Jackie, but without Jackie, we wouldn't be where we are today. And I wish I could say that with her standing here, but we've got pages and pages of our comments between Kim Roth and Jackie Air. They took all of our comments, put them together, because you can't just fill out the form and say, I don't want the high-speed rail. It's got to be specific. It's got to be, you know, like I said, refer to the Country Journal. It will give you all the information in there that you need of our comments. And I was a little surprised when Michelle and her team let us know that there wasn't a whole lot from Agua Dulce, which, hey guys, it's going to affect you too.
Absolutely.
It's very destructive. And I did bring one of these tonight for you, Don, and you can make copies if you so desire for the rest of your group. But it shows right here the Palmdale Station and where they're trying to meet in Burbank. And if you look at, they're calling it a slug, and to me that's kind of appropriate. It's kind of wormy.
Right.
Anyway, this is about 6 to 8 miles across.
Okay.
So what we're trying to do right now is to convince the High Speed Rail Authority that all they have to do is move it 2/3 of a mile there at the top. It will get it out of Acton. It will still, and it has to be underground in order for it to avoid Acton.
Okay.
So this is what we've presented to the High Speed Rail Authority and also to Supervisor Antonovich.
So the only alternative that Acton is that's acceptable
To Acton.
is underground.
Underground. And where it comes out there at the top is Angeles Forest.
Right.
And supposedly it has to daylight there because of the elevation, but then we wanted to dive.
How far does it go there?
Pardon me?
How far does it go? Underground from Acton?
From Acton to Burbank.
All the way to Burbank?
All the way to Burbank.
Underground?
Underground.
Oh,
Okay, so
Through the forest.
Yeah,
Kim,
okay.
what you're asking for is that corridor.
We want
You don't care where it is, or?
Well, we want it in the Angeles Forest. We want it
Okay,
out
so
of
everything in the forest.
in the forest, out of
In and out.
Acton. Out of Acton. Get out of Acton's boundaries, put it as far into the forest,
Okay.
and still make it, and we're not trying to destroy other communities down the way.
Right.
We've kind of gotten some feedback from Shadow
Hey,
Hills.
you know what,
and
this is, at this point,
It's
you've
our
got to
fight.
fight for your own area.
Yeah, we're getting some feedback on that, but I say, you know what, guys?
Let them take it from there.
You guys have to stand up and do your fight too.
Right, I agree with
So,
Now you said, you may have mentioned something about if they just move it 2/3 of a...
2/3 of a mile
Where?
at that point at the top.
Where this point is?
Yeah,
Okay. So move it
2/3 of a mile
2/3.
east.
Okay, so move
East.
it, instead of being here, move it over
Well,
here.
wherever it comes out, it'll be somewhere, yeah, right in this general vicinity
Okay.
right here
Okay.
from the lake.
Okay. So
Because
then...
really the forest, I mean, look at the forest here, that goes all the way over here.
That's
So
right.
Yeah.
That's
you,
right.
So would you move
really-
all this 2/3?
Yes,
Okay.
and they don't obviously need 6 to 8 miles.
No.
They just aren't telling us where
Exactly.
in this log it's going to
They
be.
want to have free reign.
They want, that's right, they want a wide path
so are you referring to outside of the Acton Community Standards District?
outside of the boundary, the Acton boundaries.
And that would be the
And
Community
that
Standards
includes the
District.
community standards here.
Is there another boundary for Acton other than the community standards So then basically, and of course, obviously, on these maps, they never show any real detail.
Right, yeah, we can't see streets, we can't,
And they don't show the acton is down there.
Right, but I will say, they added this in as an option as
Yeah.
opposed to.
Oh, yeah, it was gonna be.
So they're open to
well,
new areas, so if we can
Myra,
mirror what you have
can
said,
you go to the car and get my map? The big
To-
map that I,
bring it even further, as
Well-
far east as possible.
well, we,
Outside of
it
Acton.
only takes 2/3 of a mile to get it out of our boundaries,
Okay,
okay? These are the two existing routes, there
Right.
was 3
right.
on the north side of Acton. So either way, it'll destroy the north part of Acton or the south part of Acton. This was put on the table about 7 or 8 weeks ago.
So if we went 2/3 of a mile on
This
the
whole line.
eastern
On this whole
line,
line, in other words, not just 2/3 of a mile up here, but
Right.
2/3 of a
It's
mile
gotta-
of the whole
it's
thing.
just- Basically, but again, we can't judge
Okay,
their width there.
yeah.
well, I think they're just indicating that this is what they could look at for where it's going to
Right,
go.
but it takes out 500 homes.
I understand that, but if we can say we want it as far east,
Into the forest.
In the forest.
but see,
And
we're in the
underground.
forest here too, so I'm just a little, I want to be as specific as possible,
Okay,
because I want it as far away from Acton and Agua
well, all we
as possible.
said was adjust it 2/3 of a mile where it comes out of the ground, or where it daylights.
Okay, up here,
Which is gonna be,
at the well, it's going to be outside of the Palmdale station.
Yeah,
see, they're not even showing us
Right,
what
they're not
part
gonna
of this
show
is
any
gonna
of
be
that.
town.
that's right,
Yeah,
that's
So
right.
this is just a white brush.
right.
It's a very wide brush.
Which is
That
concerning.
blue part on there is all proposed underground, right?
No,
No, but they haven't shown, they haven't gotten to detail it yet because they're calling it an alternative
yes,
corridor study area. These
Yes.
others are actually
Because-
drawn out, alternative routes. They've got route numbers on these here. Okay, and they've done the detail as far as within, a couple hundred feet of where this thing's gonna go. But this here, as she says, they got 6 miles.
Underground, but you want it away from any homes.
absolutely.
Okay.
Because all of that is well water out there, there's no county water. So it would not only destroy the water table, but, there's a lot of ranches and dog
Yeah, there's
kennels.
even some stuff that is really active that's within the forest. That's what I'm a little concerned about, that there are properties.
There is.
Properties.
But how Jackie has routed this, and I'm sorry I didn't bring that with me tonight, we're gonna avoid every house. That's what we've proposed to
Okay.
them.
Okay, that, if I could get a copy of that,
Okay?
because in my mind, that's what we should propose also.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, my husband got lost.
okay, that's
Mary,
right.
would you send that to everybody so we can at least follow that?
Yeah, I think that,
Yeah, so we don't put anything we want.
because I want to be as specific as possible, and if I just say outside of Acton CSD, there still is probably going to be some parcels.
I'd say
In
I have
forest.
boundaries. And you're right, there's 1 or 2 houses
Yeah.
out there, way up towards, what is it?
Mesa.
Mary Road and the end of Aliso,
Oh, okay,
or Mount Dema Road.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
But if you guys have narrowed down a specific route that will avoid homes,
yes,
I would really, I think, council, that is what we would like to
We're
also
gonna put our weight on something, and that's what we need to put our weight on.
submit.
Is this proposed, I'm thinking of Angeles Crest Highway where it comes down, and then it's abutted by Aliso. Is this
Right.
east of Angeles Crest Highway?
yes,
That would be really good, yeah.
yeah. Well,
Because if you're
that's-
west, there's a lot of homes, a lot of big ranches.
Yeah, there is 5 and 10 acre parcels.
Right.
Yeah,
Nice houses, whatever.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Okay. Oh,
So what we've also got so far, what Jackie has done, is we have already submitted a very extensive noise study. Jackie is a mechanical engineer with a master's degree in physics, okay? So So what she's done, took her about 80 hours to do that study. She also did a very basic well water study. Tonight she's not with me because she's working on the vibration study, which she hopes to have done by this weekend. And the reason we're striving for that is we were notified, and I think I have 10 copies of this, is that on Tuesday, September 16th, the High Speed Rail Authority will be in Palmdale doing a monthly meeting. Okay? So I'm going to see how many I've got. With the 15 lawsuits that are already on the table against the High Speed Rail Authority. So the group that started all this is right up there at the top, John Toss and Aaron Fukuda.
Right?
We've been in contact with those guys for 2 or 3 years. They're working their heart and soul to save their community up there. And that's where all the farmers are. They're doing a good job. And then today, an Acton resident brought me this. I've got tons of people out there paying attention because I can't do all this research on my own. But the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association has now done a petition to the California Supreme Court to review the high-speed rail bond validation. So that case, I'm glad to see that they jumped on board also. So I've made a few of those for everybody to read. So we got that today, and sorry, I'm not trying to avoid anybody, I just don't have very many copies with me. So that was pretty helpful. I was excited to see that. The more big names we get fighting this with us, because obviously the guys up in the Central Valley, they've spent a couple $1 million right now in attorney fees and what they have to do to protect their farmland. And obviously we're pretty small potatoes down here. But the reason we've been told that we got moved into phase 1, or basically we're always in phase 1, but we got put in a different position, is because of those 15 pending lawsuits. There wasn't a whole lot of flack going on down here, and we were small potatoes compared to what was going on up there. So that's where we're at. We're going to, at some point, if it gets to the point that we need to actually hire an attorney, we will be trying to get Stuart Flashman, which is the lead attorney up there in the Central Valley, along with Michael Brady. Those guys know what they're doing. They've already got all their ducks in a row on this. So if we're going to keep it out of Acton and Agua Dulce, that's the folks we want. Let's see. Where else was I going with
Have they
this?
given you any kind of a, yes, they do it for you? I mean, has anybody contacted them to kind of feel?
Oh, yes, and the Japanese men are scheduled to be here for 2 years to train these people. And if you drive up the 14 freeway, right there at the auto dealers, they've got a big flashing sign that says, "High-speed rail now hiring."
Really?
Where's that?
On the 14 freeway in front of the car dealerships.
It's just north of Palmdale Boulevard.
Right,
Oh,
right there on the left as you're going into Palmdale. High-speed rail now hiring, blah, blah, blah.
Now, I have a question.
Yes.
Have they got a shovel in the ground yet for the Madeira to Fresno first bit?
Well, I don't know if they really have, they say they've got a shovel in the ground, but according to Prop 1A, they weren't supposed to do any of that until the funds were in place. But we're hearing that they're tearing down buildings in Fresno on the main street. There's been a few buildings that have been removed. So we know there's demolition going on. We know that there's been some purchases of properties and land. And then we know that some new lawsuits have come on board because of all this, like Bakersfield. There's a church in Bakersfield. We know that there's more people getting involved as it becomes more aware in their communities of the destruction.
Pam,
Yes.
did you hear anything from Ellen or Mr. Flashman about the I think it was the Third Circuit Court that went ahead and gave permission for the bonds to be sold?
Yeah, the appellate court did do that.
Yeah, so.
But that's what this new Howard Jarvis is doing, is taking it as a petition to the Supreme Court
On that issue.
on that issue. But yes, the appellate court overruled Judge Kinney in Sacramento,
That's what I thought.
which is really,
Well, it's very likely that there's a lot of behind-the-scenes things that we don't know about that are going on to facilitate the high-speed rail. Let's face it, the politicians want it.
I think it's very important for us to go to this September 16th. I think it's the 16th. Did I just hand out the stuff? It's at 9 o'clock in Palmdale. I, of course, will be there. Hopefully Jackie can be there and other people that are knowledgeable. We each get 90 seconds to talk. So, I don't know. And as you can see, Michelle Bohm is one of the lead speakers there. I can give you one of these, Lillian.
I have it, thank you.
Do you?
Is it-
Okay.
Do we have something about that? Okay, perfect, thank you.
So if any of you town council members are available to go on that Tuesday morning, it would probably be really beneficial. I'm going to try to round up our town council and see what we can accomplish over there. But encourage people to do their comment cards. It's really vital to our case. And if they don't do a comment card and don't respond to their property, they're not going to have much room to mitigate with the high-speed rail authority. It's got to be specific. You can't just say, I don't want it. It's got to be how you think it's going to affect your community. If you just did it for the community, you could do that. But at least, you know, response is what we're looking for. And she was kind of snarky when she told me that there wasn't much from Agua Dulce. So that's Michelle.
Oh.
Relationship.
Oh, Pam,
Yes.
do the supervisors endorse this path, this route?
Yes, Anton Rich does support this, but until he sent his transportation director to Acton to our meeting where we had the high-speed rail authority out there, I don't think that the director was that aware of how serious it was going to affect Acton. So,
Which route are you specifically speaking
the
about?
blue
This.
slug,
Blue Slug,
yeah.
not one of the already proposed. but-
Yeah, did you get my map? No, the big cardboard map, is that not the card? I didn't put it in there, sorry. I don't know how we could be unaware, because the three routes that were north of the 14 freeway, well, one is kind of next to the school, kind of south, and then the other two are north. They took one of those off the map, the top one, simply because it didn't meet the new location in Palmdale of the new transportation center that Mayor Ledford is proposing. So,
What is the actual official name of your coalition that you guys?
well, you know what, we're changing it because people were not finding it. So,
But I mean, if we were to write up and draft up a letter and say that at our meeting tonight, you spoke and informed us what the current status is, and that we are in support of your views and your, because obviously we don't have a lot of definition here as far as where this goes.
sorry.
That's all right, but that's what I'm thinking, because we don't have the definition. If we
Can
have
refer
put
to
out a
it.
letter of support for your group, whatever we want to call it, I don't want to just call it the acting group.
No,
What do you think we have-
it was Acton Agua Dulce high-speed rail, but we're going to change it.
Did that group send a comment for scoping?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, can you give us a copy of what what
Yeah.
that organization sent?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then the big stuff that we did was Jackie's reports. We all of us sent all of that. So if you want a copy of the noise study, the well study.
No, I don't think
I
that's,
think this basically the gist of it. In other words, we want it to go where you want it to go. Because this this blue line is not coming through the middle of Agua Dulce. It's coming through the middle of Acton.
Right. The
So
other
we don't
two-
know.
Yeah, the
We
other two
can,
are
we
better.
decide, oh, that's a good spot for it to go. What I'm saying is, you've put the time into it, Jackie's put the 80 hours of the study.
Right.
She pretty much has it probably in her mind of exactly where this is, okay?
Right.
So, well, I don't want to put a letter out that we support Jackie
Jackie
Air. What I want to say is that Pam Walter gave a group, Pam Walter, who represented the
coalition
against the
the
high-speed rail.
Okay, what we had talked about yesterday was the Acton Agua Dulce Coalition against the high-speed rail.
Okay.
So without being able to talk to Jackie right now or Kim, that's basically where we were at.
Okay.
when you submitted your comments, what was your,
We did it as our existing name, which, what is it?
yeah, and I think that's probably what we need to use.
Is there a problem with doing that in this phase? In other words, you're not talking about getting an attorney yet, but
Right,
I'm
sorry.
thinking in this phase,
Because this comments are for scoping. And scoping is what is the EIR going to include? What are the
what are the
different
effects gonna be?
elements that are important to you, us, that the EIR needs to address? And location, in my mind, is key.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
So,
Here's what our group has been. It's Acton and Agua Dulce high-speed rail. And we did that simply so that people were trying to find it,
Yep.
because it started out as a different name when Kathleen Trinity was, so we, I'm
That's
not
perfect.
saying we're the most organized, but we're,
Well,
you
no,
got a
that's-
whole lot going on.
You're involved. There's a motion on the floor. I didn't hear a second. I heard an agree. Second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, now, we've got,
Who seconded that?
that was good. Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty easy. Okay. LA County Flood Control District to prepare a program, environmental impact report for proposed enhanced watershed management programs.
We need some water first.
So, has anybody delved into this to see what all it's about? Here's what it's kind of what it's about.
I think it's kind of clean water, clean beaches.
That's what it kind of looked like to me.
Yeah, and it's kind of the
But it's
urban thing.
worded a different way.
Right. But we've got really no flood control out here. All of our stuff goes through the Santa Clara,
Right.
and Santa Clara is dealing with that, so.
Okay, so we've been notified. I don't see where there's a review period until September 29th.
I don't see this as a pressing condition.
For us.
Anybody else?
Flood control.
Well, what I was about, there's only,
I think I,
It's only
on the
15
website, I put some
pages.
links on the website.
Notice of public hearing, community meetings, California High-Speed Rail Public Scoping Meeting.
Already done.
Yeah. The Hall Water Scoping Meeting. Now, you've got Wednesday, we haven't gotten an official
We
thing.
have not an official thing.
Okay.
This,
Here's what I have.
okay. I am
This was
so
from-
angry about
This
this.
is from Richard Loudon, who is the one in charge, okay? I spoke with him, let's see here. This was a good, okay. The 21st of August, Richard Loudon says notices to go out next week, definitely by the end of the month. Okay, I said, great, because that's coming up that month, okay? Yes, he did say the 24th, so you're right there on the date.
Okay.
And it's gonna be not at the women's club, but I think it's gonna be at the school, isn't it? Is it gonna be at the women's club, the day reserve?
It reserve the women's club.
They did.
because
So that's how you knew
That's
about
how I knew about it, because Rosalind said,
Okay,
contact me for the availability of the women's club.
okay. So we have, well, that's that person.
But, when I sent this Friday, September 5th.
Okay,
Has the formal meeting notice been sent?
okay.
Because this is an EIR scoping meeting, just like everything else, needs to be noticed 30 days ahead of time, just like it's supposed to. So, so sent me a copy. Today, she sent me, yesterday. My apologies for the delay. We are in the process of finalizing the documents and hope to have it posted next week.
So it's not.
Okay, next week is a week before the meeting.
It's not even legal.
It is not even legal. And it goes until October 6th. Is that the correct date?
Yes.
I don't have.
Sometimes.
There it is. I have someone that, okay, I have one.
And they are proposing to change the east southern boundary?
West,
Southern, I guess it would be, isn't it?
west, south.
South.
Oh, here's a map. So we are here, we're right here, here's a map. So they want to change, they want to move this, it would be the east, the southeast of Agua, Dulce, and the
Southeast.
southwest of that.
Yes,
Right.
and it's acton.
And that's going to cut into OV. When I looked at it, what they are proposing is, right now it's a straight line down, and Rosie's area is in Santa Cruz Valley, OV. They're proposing down and then a little jag on the 14 freeway, and then down. And that puts Rosie in your area over into town and country. Your area is in Antelope Valley, according to their proposed map. Because what they need to do is have that little jog around for your area to be put in the center. If they're in fact changing to align with CSDs, and that's what they're saying, because you guys are in the actual CSD boundary, then in turn they need to jag around your area and put you in the Santa Clarita Valley.
But that's what Mitch Glazer was supposed to do. I talked to him specifically about making sure that everything in the standards district went to OVOV, and he assured me that it would.
As did Edel.
And
I trust
it's
him.
not.
Which is harder than Mitch.
Okay, here is what I just printed up today. And, okay, here is our current line runs straight down here.
Okay, OVOV.
Santa Cruz Valley over here, Antelope Valley over here, okay? And then I printed out their proposed, and it comes down here, and then jogs the freeway down. Here is their where it comes down and then jogs over. So Lillian's area, which is a little cutout up here, is left out. And the Acton CSD spot has been pulled in.